Hi everybody, I'm Angela Hart and welcome to the show. We have a two-part segment in this show. The first guest I'm going to introduce you to in a moment. His name is Chris Williams, and everyone in the community knows Chris from Williams iWorks. And the second guest is going to be Mike Riley. After a short intermission, Mike will be coming on the show with his 3 children, and we're going to talk about sexting, we're going to talk about drugs in the school, and other issues that are facing the education world. So first, though, I'd like to introduce you to Chris Williams, and I want to welcome you on the show, Chris. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Angela.
Chris is very well known in our community. He's actively involved in the Rotary Club, the Boy Scouts, SIEDC, and he helps small businesses, and he's also got some interesting views about the way things should be done.
Staten Island Chamber of Commerce, too.
Oh, and the Staten Island Chamber of Commerce. Excellent. So we have a lot to talk about. It's not going to be a structured discussion, but we're going to hit on all the various topics that concern our community and how Chris helps, and also some of his thoughts about ways we can improve things. So Chris, first let's talk about something easy. Which Rotary Club are you a member of?
Currently, I'm a member of the South Shore Rotary Club.
And when do they meet? And tell the viewers, a lot of people don't know really what the Rotary Club does. I like to invite Rotarians on so they can speak to people about it and encourage membership because it's such a good organization. So share with the viewers about what you enjoy about the Rotary Club.
Well, I've been involved in Rotary for many years now. I started in 1995 at the Staten Island, at the North Shore Rotary Club, which they meet Thursday nights at the Staten. That's Thursday night, 7 o'clock at the Staten. In 1995, I was just opening my business not too long. Someone introduced me to the idea of Rotary. So, you know, just a moment ago, you said, what does Rotary mean? Rotary means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What it is, it's the opportunity to gather with like-minded people that see the benefit of supporting their community. There's a basic philosophy in Rotary that if you make a living off a community, you have an obligation to support that community. And if you do that in groups, you can be much more effective than if you try to do it on your own. Hence, why you go to the Rotary Club to meet other like-minded people that share this shared philosophy.
And I like that. Explains it. Now, what if somebody wants to join the Rotarians? What's involved with that?
Well, Rotary clubs are by invitation for the most part. You know, so you're supposed to be invited to join a Rotary club. So, but generally, if you show up at a Rotary club and show some interest, a member will be generally willing to be your sponsor, because you do need a sponsor to join a Rotary club. And then, you know, it's changed over the years. It used to be all small business owners. It's not exclusively that so much anymore. It's expanded way beyond that. You know, don't quote me exactly on this, but there's about 31,000 Rotary clubs throughout the world.
Wow.
I visited Rotary clubs in Rome, in France, in Mexico. Pretty much when I book a vacation, the next thing I do is contact the local Rotary club and tell them I'm coming.
Wow.
And 9 out of 10 times, somebody will email you back that they'll be glad to take you out for dinner and tell you what restaurants to go to or not, or this or that, or help you get into an art exhibit that you couldn't have got tickets for because you didn't even know it was there. Or,
wow.
You know, it's been really a very powerful force in my life. The main thing Rotary has done for me is through Rotary, I've been involved in a lot of different things over the years within Rotary. My favorite program is the GSE program.
What does that stand for?
Group Study Exchange Program. So every year our Rotary Club would get paired with a Rotary Club someplace else in the world. Well, related to districts. That's not a club project. That's a district project.
Okay.
So our New York district would get matched with Southern Italy. We'd have to pick 4 young people from our community, send them to them, and they'd have to send us 4 young people. When I say young people, I don't mean kids. These people have to be under 40 years old, done educating themselves, and in a profession for 2 years. So I was the coordinator for the GSE on Staten Island for, I don't know, the last 5 years or so.
That's
So
fascinating.
it was my job to find them a Rotarian to host them. They're here for about a month, and then people in their profession so that they could see how their job's done in this part of the world.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's been absolutely totally educational. It's blown away any prejudice I may have had, totally obliterated, because I don't care where you're from. I've hosted people from Tokyo, from Australia.
You personally, in your own home?
Oh, absolutely. I love having them. Generally, it's in April. It's in April into May. So my children are old enough. So for the last few years, they're away at college at that time of year. So I have a few empty bedrooms. So I'll generally host 2, and then other people. Ronald Victorio, the architect.
Yes.
He's a very gracious Rotarian. Always helps me out quite a bit. Actually, he was a coordinator. I got involved through him, and then I became the main coordinator. But him and his family have certainly never abandoned the cause or effort. They have a wonderful space that they're very willing to let people stay at. They could accommodate accommodate all 4 of them if we want. So that's 4 young people, and then they have a Rotarian from their district that comes with them. So you generally have a more mature person who's the Rotarian with these 4 people. The 4 young people cannot be Rotarians. They had to be selected from the community. They really can't have an affiliation with Rotary. Like my children wouldn't qualify to go on this trip.
Right.
Even, my son's 35 years old or whatever, and I'm an active Rotarian. No, I'm a Rotarian, he's out.
So it helps introduce people from the community to the Rotarian Club.
Oh,
as well
absolutely,
as
absolutely. Almost everyone that has a GSE experience goes back to their country and joins Rotary.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because Rotary is really very powerful in concepts. And now, concepts are funny things. That's before I said that Rotary means different things to different people, because they're concepts. So how you interpret that concept and how I interpret that concept are rarely the same, but they're wholesome concepts. So it's hard to misinterpret wholesome concepts too bad.
Okay, that sounds fair. That sounds fair. I didn't know about this SE, what'd you call it, in the Rotary Club? The
GSE team.
GSE team. I hadn't heard about that, and I was a Rotarian for a few months. I had to take a leave of absence. I'm hoping to go back to one of them.
Well, unfortunately, this year there is no GSE in our community.
Oh.
For many years, GSE existed because it still exists, but you have your district governor in Rotary. So the GSE part of Rotary was funded by Rotary International.
Yes.
So everybody participated because it didn't come out of your district governor's budget. Now, I don't know, last year, I guess, maybe a year and a half ago, so they changed the Rotary International rules and gave the district governors more money.
So it's a different setup.
Well, it's optional to the district governor if he wants to spend some of his budget on it or not.
Well, it sounds like it was a good thing
it was,
while it lasted.
But when it was an added to his budget thing, they always took advantage of it. Now when he has to decide to take...
Chris has very specific opinions about things, and we're going to learn more about him, and I always enjoy talking to him.
When he has to take a lot of money out of his budget, he has other projects he wants to do.
Okay.
To host a GST team for a month is...
It's not always the ideal.
Well, it's $30,000,
Yikes.
so it's not a $100 project.
All right. So, but for those who have not been introduced to the Rotary Club before, and maybe they're new to the neighborhood, whichever community they may be in, are you saying that they can generally call up a Rotarian Club and show up at a meeting and say, I'd like to introduce myself and get to know people there to see if they might get a sponsor?
Yeah, somewhat. I believe on Staten Island we do have a Rotary website that tells you all the meeting times in place. Can't believe I can't think of it, but just if you go to Rotary.org,
Sure.
the main website, you can put there's a club locator button on there. You just put the zip code you're in, and it will tell you where the Rotary clubs in your area are.
Because it's very welcoming organization. While it's exclusive and somewhat in nature, it's also very welcoming to those who do become involved, and they serve the community in so many ways. So,
well, the motto of Rotary is "He who serves best is served best."
I like that. I hadn't heard that one before.
He who serves best is serves best. So when you first join a Rotary club, if you think you're going to join it and your fellow Rotarians are just going to patronize you because you joined, it's probably not that likely.
No, it was the opposite. Can I tell you what happened with me? I actually joined the Rotary Club. I gave business, or I was lucky and blessed enough to find an attorney through the Rotary Club. I found a printer the same month through the Rotary Club. I found an insurance agent, and there was a fourth one. I'm going blank now. But a photographer, Flint.
Right.
Yeah. And so
Flint,
actually,
wonderful man.
he's so great to work with. So I was very lucky to join up with a Rotary Club that had such professionals in the organization that I needed to serve my business needs, and we're all right there.
Well, I think part of the description of Rotary always includes professional.
Yes.
You know, you could be the gas station attendant, but you have to be professional to be a Rotarian.
As long as you conduct yourself in that way. So we do love to promote the Rotarians on Heart of the Earth because they just do so much for the community, and The more people that join it, the more the community benefits. And especially during Sandy, you were also very active there.
I was president of the North Shore Rotary Club that year. It was a very active year, and I couldn't be more proud of what the 5 clubs accomplished together. It really was.
And working with some of the local churches too, to drop off the food at the local churches.
The 5 Rotary clubs were very smart. We all decided not to try to benefit our community on our own. So we all had a representative from each club meet weekly. Me and 4 other gentlemen met every week for almost 2 years, and we pooled all the resources of all 5 Rotary clubs together and did a lot of good on Staten Island.
Yeah, it was really a big help.
It was a wonderful experience. It's only saddened by the necessity.
Yes, exactly. So, Chris, tell us about your involvement with the Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts?
Yeah.
That's my real passion.
Tell us. Yeah, I sense that.
I'm the Staten Island Boy Scout Council president, which I wear that title very, very proudly. Why do I wear that title so proudly? I wear that title proudly because what's your main objective in life? Make sure the people behind you have opportunity. And Boy Scouts, in my opinion, is the premier organization to create opportunity for young people behind me. A lot of people don't think Boy Scouts give opportunity to girls, but Boy Scouts is so much more than the average person thinks. It is a community empowerment tool that's available for everyone to use. Whether you're talking the mother that joined at a very young, got involved with her kids when her kids were very young, the training that scouting offers makes each and every person involved a better citizen, a better neighbor. It's really very empowering all the way around. Never mind the opportunities that it presents for the children involved. And there are a lot of programs at the older level that girls can be involved in as well.
Tell us about some of those, especially the ones for the girls. This was a surprise to me when you mentioned that the girls were involved with the Boy Scouts. I thought you meant the Girl Scouts, but no.
No.
So how do girls get involved, and at what age do they get involved with the Boy
14
Scouts?
and up, basically. We have what we call venture patrols. A venture patrol is kind of like a Boy Scout troop, but it's not a Boy Scout troop. It's a common interest group. It's almost like a Rotary Club. You could have a bowling. As a matter of fact, Rab's Bowling Alley, Rab's Country Lanes, was the first business that I know of in New York City to sponsor a venture patrol.
And what is Venture Patrol all about for those
Venture
of us
Patrol,
who don't have kids?
Well, it's just a common interest club almost, with the scouting mottos or philosophies embraced in it. So those kids could be from 14 to 21 years old.
Okay.
So Rab's hosted one, a bowling venture patrol.
And what did they do there? I mean, obviously they bowled.
Well, they bowl, and then like everything Boy Scouts, it's led by the kids. So they're encouraged to get involved in their community, do service projects. Instead, they could do as little or as much as they want. Boy Scout, the organization Boy Scouts, will help them organize these things and do these things. And it's centered on their common interests, whether that's bowling, scuba diving, community service.
What kind of community service? Maybe feeding the homeless? Or
whatever they choose, right, helping the poor, feeding the homeless. There's a million ways to be of value to your community.
Tutoring children?
Tutoring children. Yeah.
And so how do the girls get involved with that? I missed
Well,
something there.
in the venture patrols, it's not limited to boys. It's not like Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Oh, okay.
You just have to be over 14 to join.
Okay.
You
I
could
like
be
that.
a boy, girl, it doesn't matter. And then you join the particular venture patrol you join because you were attracted by the scuba diving, by the whatever that common interest
So it's sort
group
of
was.
like an outreach in a way to the community so that people can be involved, the kids over 14?
Somewhat, and it was, I don't really know this, but I think it was born out of a way to keep kids involved with scouting as they got less interested with the traditional program with age. One of
Okay.
our biggest obstacles in keeping young men involved in Boy Scouts is once they hit high school, then I'm not discouraging anyone from getting involved
Right.
in a sports team and stuff, but let's say you join the high school football team, it leaves very little time left to be a Boy Scout.
Okay.
Because there was big commitments.
Yeah.
That's another one of my favorite parts about Boy Scouts is there is no protocol. Meaning, if it takes you 5 years to become an Eagle Scout, or if it takes you 20 minutes to become an Eagle Scout, you can't do it in 20 minutes. There is this, but there is no time frame. So let's say you're trugging along and you're a Cub Scout, you become a Boy Scout. Now you join the football team. Okay, so you play football for a year. If you come back and get re-involved, there's no penalty. You just pick up where you are.
Oh, I like that.
So the only requirement to be an Eagle Scout, not the only requirement, you have to achieve the requirements before your 18th birthday.
Okay.
But you could start and stop, and
Were you children in the Boy Scouts?
that's how I got involved. I wasn't much of a scout myself.
How many kids do you have?
3.
And all 3 got involved?
Well, my daughter, no. That would lead me back to Rotary. I started an Interact Club at Moore High School.
Oh, tell the viewers right here about
Well,
that.
Interact is basically a Rotary club on a high school level. I was motivated to do that because my older son and my younger son were involved with scouting, so I went on lots of camping trips and did lots with them through scouting. It kind of bothered me. I felt like I was less involved with my daughter because she wasn't a scout. Even though my daughter spent a lot of birthdays on Boy Scout trips, she went on. She's an honorary scout. But when she got into high school, my Rotary Club very much wanted to sponsor an Interact Club. So I saw that as an opportunity to take all my Boy Scout training and do it with my daughter.
Okay.
So we started an Interact Club at Moore High School, which is still going today. My nephew is the current president of it right now. I'm still the moderator to that club.
And how old is your daughter now?
My daughter is 21.
Okay, but that was a good start for her.
Yeah,
in
which
life.
that's 6 or 7 years. 6 or 7 years that club's going now.
This is so good. This is so good for our community.
And it's fun.
Yeah, the kids
That's-
have fun. They
it's
go away
fun.
for the weekend.
It's fun for me.
It's fun for you. What
know,
part do you find the most fun?
Oh, that'd be really hard to narrow down the whole thing. And I really get a lot of enjoyment out of just participating in these things and seeing people flourish and prosper from the participation.
And from a young age, and you probably watch them grow and
Oh,
develop a bit.
oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Scouting has given me opportunity to have a much better relationship with my two nephews in particular, more than I would have had without scouting.
Oh boy,
You know,
because they were involved in.
Because they were involved in scouting. So I was with them every Tuesday night for years that probably wouldn't have happened otherwise.
No, there's no
Right.
way. The way families are,
Right.
and everybody's so busy.
Right.
So that's a good thing. And how does a kid get involved with the Boy Scouts? They do it through school?
A lot of times we recruit through schools, but now there's 78 Boy Scout packs and troops on Staten Island, so there's one in your neighborhood. It wouldn't take much effort to find out where one is. We do have a website. I had to turn off my phone. I can't remember the web
But
address.
people can find it.
But
They can
you
Google
can
it.
find it, and
Good
they
old
will tell you
Google.
where all your local troops are. Matter of fact, you could join right on that website.
Beautiful. So we covered a lot of community work that you do, and something else that Chris is involved in is the SIEDC on Staten Island. And what's very interesting is that he actually appeared with speaking about businesses, he appeared with the president of our country, who I'm not particularly fond of at all, but in respect of his position, because he is president, I think that that's one of the reasons why Chris agreed to tell the viewers about it.
It was absolutely it was thrilling. It was absolutely thrilling. I love telling this story. I'm sitting in my office.
Sure.
10:30 on a Tuesday morning. My son walks in the office and says, "Dad, the White House is on the phone for you." I look at him. He says, "I don't know. That's what they said." So I pick up the phone. This girl says, "Hi, my name's Carrie Twiggs. I'm calling from the White House. We're looking for the owner of Williams Iworks or for Chris Williams or the owner of Williams Iworks." I say, "That's me. Who's this?" She says, "My name's Carrie Twiggs. I'm calling from the White House on behalf of President Barack Obama." I say, "And you're looking for Chris Williams of Williams Iworks from Staten Island, New York?" She said, "We are." I say, "Okay, the day of technology is wonderful," because I'm sitting in front of a computer. So I say, "What's your name again?" She says, "Carrie Twiggs." I say, "Can you spell that for me?" So I write it down. So now when she's talking, I Google her name. I find her on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, her job description is she's on the president's staff. It's her job to keep the president in touch with the everyday American.
Well, there he is, the
So
everyday
here I am.
American.
So,
And then what happened?
So she asked me, 10, 15 very benign questions. How many employees do you have? Do you give them health benefits? Do you give them sick time? Very general, nothing too invasive
Right.
questions. So after about these 10, 15 questions, again, it was like 10:30 on a Tuesday morning, she says, "Can you be in Washington, D.C., 1:30 Thursday?"
Did they pay for the trip?
I'll get up to that in a minute. So I said, "I could. Why would I be?"
Right, I could, but why?
Right, but why would I be? She says, "We'd like you to meet with President Obama and talk about small business issues." I said, "Again, you're asking me, Chris Williams from Staten Island, New York,
This is too
if I
funny.
could meet with the President of the United States this Thursday
just-
at 1:00?" She says, "Yes." I said, "I could do that."
Odd.
Oh, it was
This is
great.
so odd.
So then they email you some stuff, and you have to fill it out because they have to run the security check and such on you. Okay, so I was allowed to take one person with me. They prefer it to be an employee, so my oldest son is an employee, so I
Oh,
took my oldest
that's
son with
great.
me. We get there that day. There was, I don't know, 12 small businesses from around the country invited. It was supposed to be 1:30. On the phone, they told us we'd be with the president for about a half hour. Then we were expected to participate in a panel discussion about small business for about an hour and a half. Okay, so we get to the White House that day.
Get to the White House that day, no big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so thrilling. We get to the White House that day. They take us into not the Oval Office. You have the East Wing and the West Wing. The non-Oval Office in the East Wing. That's where the unimportant stuff. It looks like the Oval Office, but it's not the Oval Office. All the important stuff happens in the West Wing, and then they have the other side that looks like it, but it's not really. Okay, so they take us in there. We're sitting there. They go over the protocol. When the president walks in, you're allowed to use your phone. You're allowed to take pictures. You're allowed to do whatever you want. Wander around the East Wing. When the president walks in the room, they want you to take your phone out, turn it off, leave it on the table where they can see it.
Okay.
Because they don't want to hear it went off by mistake or recorded something or took a picture. Then they wanted us to make a semicircle around. They went over the protocol to how they wanted us to behave when the president came. Okay, so that's 10 minutes passed, and then unfortunately they came in the room and said the president was delayed, and this has been bumped to 3 o'clock.
Oh.
But please feel free. I love this when they said this. They said, please feel free to wander around, touch anything you like, sit any place you want. So I walked up.
You went behind his desk?
I sat in his chair.
How did I know that? How did I know that?
Before that, I picked up George Washington's chair. The CIA, the security, I think CIA guys. I said, I'm allowed to touch that? He said, you heard him, touch whatever you want. So I picked up the China plate and looked at it.
I wish I had a picture of this.
Oh, I loved it. It was great. And me and my son had taken a picture, and that same security person says, that's a fine picture, but sit in the president's chair, take a picture.
I can't believe this. This is too fun. And then we saw you on TV. The best part is we're watching television, and my husband says, honey, is that Chris Williams from Williams Artworks on TV? And I said, what? And I looked, and I said, that's Chris, yeah. He said, why is he with the president? I don't know.
We wound up being with him about a half hour. He literally spoke to each person. He comes in the room. He went down the row, talked to each person for about 2-3 minutes. Then because of the delay and such, they said, unfortunately, he had some important business I had to take, and we would still participate in this discussion.
Sure.
So that's what we thought was going to happen. We all go into another room, we sit down, Carrie Twiggs is there. Some other important person walks in the room, whispers in her ear, and she says, okay, this is over. And we were out on the street about 3 minutes later.
Wow, but what an experience.
I don't know what went on to divert their attention, but
you had your
we
time.
weren't the focus of their attention anymore.
But that's okay, and you were on TV, and we appreciated that.
Oh, it was absolutely thrilling.
So you're very involved in the business life of Staten Island, and through your involvement with SIEDC, can you share some of your experiences and how that agency helps Staten Island?
The Staten Island EDC has been very instrumental to me. I think they have a very clear understanding of the power of putting people together and letting them prosper together. And they create a lot of opportunity for me. They have created a lot of opportunity for me to meet people I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet otherwise. So you can't say they directly did a whole lot for you, but they gave you the opportunity to have opportunity, let's say.
You mean as a business owner or as a volunteer?
Well, by volunteering, I get the opportunity.
Okay.
But participation, that's what Rotary teaches you that. He who serves best is served best. What does that mean?
Yes.
That means if I show up and give out the hamburgers at the luncheon, I'm probably going to meet some people.
Sure.
So he who serves best is served best. So
that's a good philosophy anyway.
I think the EDC practices a lot of Rotary philosophies.
So what do you do personally for them?
Well, I'm an ambassador.
And what does that mean as an ambassador?
Well, every year as an ambassador, you're assigned a different job. This year, I'm the ambassador of the business conference, I think, coming up next year, which is business conference is a big conference we have at the Hilton every September.
Oh.
In September, and hundreds of businesses come in the ballroom.
Like a trade show? You mean there's
like a trade show, pretty much. But it's
and
much more than a trade show. We always have 3 very good speakers. You have a lunch speaker, a breakfast speaker, a lunch speaker, a dinner speaker. The mayor typically comes to the dinner. So that's some of the community comes to that. It's largely businesses and business people that come to it. But there's different awards given out for participation for the year. We got a lot of recognition of young people that just started businesses.
Wow.
We have the 20 under 40 every year. That's 20 people under 40 years old that are making an impact on Staten Island business community.
This is a good thing.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing. It really is. It's an opportunity to participate and create opportunity.
Excellent. Earlier, Chris and I were speaking a little bit about how small business and large business impacts Staten Island in particular. And he was sharing about Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola and some of the changes they made. Chris, have your soapbox, please. Share with the
my
viewers.
soapbox.
I found it very interesting.
This is my pet peeve. Boy Scouts is my love. Rotary has taught me so much. The EDC has given me opportunity, and I wish more people would take the opportunity to have experiences, because where do you create your opinion through experience. And my experiences have taught me that it's more important that I care who profits when I spend money than if I save $1 or $2. Every time I choose to go into Walmart and buy something and not buy my bed sheets from the guy down the block or something, I made my community weaker. There is no doubt about it. It's very important who I vote for maybe, but it's more important who I empower with my money. Lots of communities over time have used the power of the purse to force change in society. When people say they're powerless against the things that are going on in society, the unemployment, the conditions my kids are facing, you really get me going on this. But you do have the power to change these things by how you choose to spend your money.
Right.
Because at the end of the sentence, what's power? And I hate to say this because I don't live for money, but
Where you put your money.
where you
is
put
going
your
to
money,
empower.
every time you take money out of your pocket, you're empowering someone. So people should be more selective on who they empower.
Share a little bit about, because I'm going to have them on the show, the Victory Boulevard Merchants Association. Take just about a half a minute and share with the viewers in this camera right here about what you're doing with the association.
The Victory Boulevard Merchants Association is just another wonderful example of how of what Rotary taught me, how if you work together, you could do so much more. I've been involved in business for many, many years on Staten Island and in lots of different organizations, because someone like myself, someone like Anthony from Alfonso's, Jimmy from Jimmy's Jeweler, Frank from Fram Reale, from Safari Realtor, etc. About, let's say 50% of the merchants on Victory Boulevard are willing to put out the effort. And we decided we want to put up Christmas lights. It's very hard for the 4 of us to do that alone, or the 5 of us to do that alone. If we could get participation, but through an association, it makes our whole community again stronger. So participation makes everything better.
So visit the Victory Boulevard Merchants, and especially Christmas time, you're going to have, I think, a tree lighting.
December 1st.
December 1st. This show should air before then, actually, and so everybody should participate.
Right in the corner of Westcott Boulevard and Victory Boulevard in front of Alfonso's Bakery.
Oh, they had a great Halloween party, too, for the kids. So
Yeah.
you're doing a lot. Your business is doing a lot. Your membership in these organizations is helping the community. Thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure. It was
we
fun.
really enjoyed chatting,
No,
and
it
I
was
hope
my
you
pleasure.
come on again. It's always fun to have Chris on the show.
As often as I can.
I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to take a brief intermission, and next will be Michael Riley, our next guest, and he's going to have his children come on the show. They're at various ages from 8 to 14, I believe, and they're going to speak about the different things that kids fear in our society and in school today, and how we can overcome some of those issues. Thanks for watching. Bye, viewers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.